Have you ever felt like you could understand things that others couldn't grasp? As a child, did you notice patterns or truths that seemed invisible to those around you? I remember finding connections in storybooks that my teachers hadn't mentioned, moments that felt almost magical. Psychological research now confirms what many have intuitively felt. Certain childhood experiences and traits strongly correlate with exceptional potential later in life. Recent studies not only support this feeling, but reveal the scientific reasons behind it. Today, I'm sharing 5 scientifically backed signs from your early years that suggest you were chosen for something extraordinary, by design, not chance. Have you ever wondered why your childhood seemed filled with more obstacles than others around you? The answer may reveal a profound truth about your purpose. When we examine the biographies of extraordinary individuals throughout history, a surprising pattern emerges. Those who ultimately transform our world often endure disproportionate challenges in their formative years. These early trials aren't merely random misfortunes, but systematic preparation for exceptional lives. Research on post-traumatic growth reveals that surviving significant early adversity can activate latent neural pathways that ordinary development simply cannot access. The human brain, particularly during childhood, demonstrates remarkable neuroplasticity, its ability to reorganize itself through forming new neural connections. Think of it as your brain continuously updating its operating system to better handle life's challenges. Studies from developmental psychology show that children navigating substantial adversity often develop heightened analytical abilities, exceptional emotional intelligence, and advanced problem-solving capacities rarely cultivated in more protected upbringings. This phenomenon manifests in countless transformative figures. Abraham Lincoln's childhood was marked by poverty, the death of his mother at age 9, and minimal formal education. These hardships fostered extraordinary resilience and empathic understanding that later enabled him to guide America through its greatest existential crisis. Similar patterns appear in Oprah Winfrey's journey from poverty and abuse to media influence, and Marie Curie's path from gender discrimination to revolutionary scientific discoveries. These timeless stories of adversity find support in modern psychology, which reveals how hardship can rewire our brains for success. From a neurological perspective, this process creates tangible changes in brain architecture. Research from positive psychology demonstrates that overcoming significant childhood adversity strengthens neural connections in regions responsible for executive function, emotional regulation, and creative problem-solving. These enhanced neural networks manifest as heightened abilities precisely where they're needed most for the individual's unique purpose. What makes this pattern particularly fascinating is how the specific nature of one's early challenges often corresponds directly with their ultimate calling. Those destined to heal others frequently experience wounding themselves. Those meant to create systems of justice often witness profound injustice. Those called to teach often struggle to access education. The precision suggests something more systematic than coincidence. From a spiritual perspective, these hardships represent a form of divine preparation, crucibles designed to develop essential qualities for important future work. Ancient wisdom describes this concept through different metaphors. The refiner's fire, where intense heat removes impurities, the polishing of the diamond, where pressure creates brilliance, or the tempering of steel, where heating and cooling create strength. Each emphasizes that certain souls undergo intensive preparation because they're entrusted with more consequential responsibilities. This training develops qualities rarely found in comfortable childhoods: unshakable resilience, profound empathy born from suffering, and unusual adaptability through exposure to changing circumstances. These attributes constitute the foundation for extraordinary contribution in adulthood. Leadership studies confirm this connection, with transformative leaders frequently reporting significant childhood adversity as a formative influence. This understanding offers a powerful reframing of difficult childhood experiences. What if the very challenges that seemed most unfair were actually preparing you for an extraordinary calling? What if your struggles weren't random misfortune but deliberate preparation, building within you the exact qualities needed to fulfill your unique purpose? The obstacles weren't impediments to your path, but actually the path itself, forging capacities that conventional development simply cannot provide. Those inexplicable dreams that visited you in childhood, the ones that seemed to transcend ordinary imagination, that carried profound meanings or revealed patterns before they manifested in your waking life, weren't merely random neural firings or childish fantasy. They represent something far more significant, evidence of an extraordinary perceptive capacity that neuroscience now confirms exists in approximately 15 to 20% of the population. What society dismissed as overactive imagination may actually have been your first encounters with a heightened sensory processing ability that sets you apart in a fundamental way. This sensitivity exists as a neurological distinction, a different way of processing reality that allows certain individuals to register subtle dimensions of experience that remain completely invisible to the majority. These early intuitive perceptions often serve as the first indicators of an exceptional cognitive architecture designed to process environmental information with remarkable depth and nuance. Consider the case of 7-year-old Maya, who dreamed of her grandmother's precise medical emergency 3 days before it happened, describing details she couldn't possibly have known through ordinary means. Her parents dismissed it until the event unfolded exactly as she had foreseen. This experience, far from unique, illustrates the profound capacity of sensitive children to perceive beyond conventional boundaries. The scientific community now recognizes this trait through research on what psychologists term the highly sensitive person. This represents a fundamentally different way of processing sensory information. Your brain functions much like a high-definition camera in a world of standard-definition viewers, capturing nuances, subtleties, and details that remain invisible to others. If you possessed this trait as a child, you likely experienced not only vivid dreamscapes, but also an uncanny ability to detect emotional shifts in those around you, recognize patterns others missed, and sense events before they occurred. This neurological foundation creates the basis for what many traditions recognize as prophetic or intuitive gifts. Your dreams that seem to reveal future events weren't supernatural in the conventional sense. They resulted from your nervous system registering thousands of subtle environmental cues, processing them beneath conscious awareness, and presenting patterns to your conscious mind through dream imagery. What made this gift challenging in childhood was the disconnect between your experience and conventional reality. While you perceived subtle energetic dimensions and complex emotional undercurrents, those around you operated with a more limited perceptual framework, creating a sense of isolation, a feeling of seeing what others couldn't see. The neurological basis involves differences in default mode network activity, the brain's background processing system. In individuals with exceptional perceptive abilities, this network demonstrates unique patterns of connectivity, allowing for sophisticated integration of subtle information. As science begins to map these neural pathways, ancient traditions have long celebrated them as the hallmarks of a visionary mind. This gift that once isolated you serves a profound purpose. The natural separation created by your heightened sensitivity was a necessary condition for developing clarity of perception. Just as astronomers must position observatories far from city lights to see distant stars clearly, your perceptual abilities required a degree of separation from conventional thinking to develop properly. What once felt like a burden transforms into extraordinary strength when properly understood. The sensitivity that made you vulnerable to overwhelm becomes the foundation for pattern recognition and anticipatory awareness. This sensitivity represents a fundamental attunement to the subtle energies shaping our world, drawing your attention toward what truly matters beneath the surface of conventional reality, guiding you toward the unique contribution only you can make. Beyond your capacity to sense the world's subtle dimensions lies the world's capacity to sense you. Have you noticed throughout your life that troubled children, wounded adults, or even injured animals seem magnetically drawn to your presence? This phenomenon transcends coincidence or mere friendliness. It represents a profound energetic resonance occurring beneath conscious awareness, where your neurobiological signature broadcasts a signal of safety that traumatized beings instinctively recognize. This magnetic attraction operates through sophisticated biological mechanisms. Just as a lighthouse beckons ships through turbulent seas, your presence calls to those in emotional distress. Research reveals that individuals with specific neurological profiles, characterized by high vagal tone and heart rate variability, emit unconscious signals that traumatized beings immediately sense as safe harbor. Your nervous system, calibrated to a frequency of calm stability, creates a resonant field that other systems detect and move toward, much as plants bend toward sunlight. This ability to project safety isn't conscious effort, but inherent trait. The vagal nerve, a critical component of your autonomic nervous system, plays a central role in this dynamic. A higher vagal tone indicates greater capacity for emotional regulation and resilience, qualities that troubled beings unconsciously perceive. Mirror neurons simultaneously enable you to instinctively understand others' emotional states, creating a conversation beyond words. When someone in pain encounters you, their mirror neuron systems engage with yours, allowing them to try on your emotional stability. This gift creates a unique burden. Maria, a teacher with this natural healing presence, once described how exhausting lunch periods became as students gravitated to her classroom with their troubles rather than playing outside. You likely experience similar patterns: strangers sharing intimate struggles, colleagues seeking you during crises, distressed animals appearing in your yard. This constant exposure to others' pain creates emotional exhaustion, a weight carried by those whose presence naturally invites vulnerability. The quality making you a sanctuary simultaneously drains your reserves. In professional environments, this quality transforms into extraordinary potential. Those with magnetic presence often excel in healing professions: medicine, counseling, teaching, veterinary work, even without extensive formal training. Their intuitive understanding of others' needs and ability to create psychological safety gives advantages that technical expertise alone cannot provide. Their workplaces become microcosms of broader impact, spaces where harmony emerges naturally, conflicts resolve, and anxious patients find unexpected calm. The biological uniqueness of your nervous system explains the mechanisms of this attraction, but its purpose extends beyond neuroscience into spiritual significance. This magnetic attraction reflects something profound about your soul's purpose. You carry a spiritual warmth that those in need can feel, even when science cannot fully explain it. This warmth represents divine design, a heart of compassion purposefully placed within you, enabling you to bring peace into chaos. Your presence serves as living embodiment of compassionate energy, a vessel through which healing flows into environments needing stabilization. Consider this magnetic quality as a sign of your calling. Your ability to attract those who suffer serves as both indicator of your purpose and the means through which that purpose manifests. This attraction happens through you by design, not to you by accident. By recognizing this quality as evidence of your exceptional nature, you gain clarity about environments where your presence creates maximum benefit. Rather than feeling overwhelmed, you can intentionally direct this healing presence toward contexts where wounded souls most require sanctuary, allowing you to reach precisely those who need the unique restoration only you can provide. Truth lives within your cells, not just your conscious mind. When dishonesty enters your environment, your body often responds before your intellect can analyze what's happening. As a child, did you experience inexplicable stomach aches during family gatherings where polite falsehoods circulated freely? Did headaches mysteriously manifest in classrooms where teachers presented information they themselves didn't believe? This physical response to inauthenticity isn't mere coincidence or hypersensitivity. It represents a sophisticated neurobiological alignment with fundamental cosmic principles. Have you ever wondered why your body just knows when something isn't right before anyone else does? Your body's visceral reaction to dishonesty reveals an extraordinary aspect of your nature that science is only beginning to comprehend. This integrity sensitivity functions like a finely tuned radar, creating unmistakable physical and emotional signals when encountering environments where truth has been compromised. What others might dismiss as anxiety actually represents a profound attunement to the frequency of truth itself, a quality that connects directly to universal principles of authenticity. This gift, while powerful, likely created significant challenges during your formative years. Children with this heightened sensitivity often find themselves in painful social predicaments when they respond honestly to questions adults only intended rhetorically. Imagine the confusion of a child who physically reacts to the inconsistency between what adults say and what they truly mean. A child who cannot understand why others don't seem bothered by the dissonance between spoken words and energetic reality. This disconnection frequently leads to social isolation, as integrity-sensitive children struggle to participate in the casual dishonesty that lubricates many social interactions. The neurological foundation for this sensitivity is increasingly recognized in scientific literature. Your brain processes information differently, with heightened activity in regions associated with ethical discernment. When exposed to deception, your internal radar activates stress responses that manifest as physical discomfort, a biological alarm system alerting you to misalignment with truth. This sensitivity operates largely below conscious awareness. You've developed the ability to unconsciously process micro-expressions, subtle vocal shifts, and inconsistencies in behavioral patterns that signal deception. Before you can articulate why someone seems untrustworthy, your body has already registered dozens of subliminal cues. This explains those moments when you just knew something wasn't right, despite having no logical explanation for your certainty. With maturity, what once manifested as painful reactivity evolves into nuanced understanding of complex ethical landscapes. You develop the capacity to navigate moral ambiguities with exceptional clarity, distinguishing essential truths from cultural conditioning. This discernment becomes increasingly valuable in a world where manipulation through misinformation has become sophisticated. Spiritual traditions across cultures recognize this quality as a sacred endowment. Many wisdom traditions speak of certain souls being specifically aligned with truth as a fundamental attribute. In these frameworks, your sensitivity represents a specific spiritual assignment to embody and uphold truth in environments where it has become compromised. As this quality matures, it transforms from painful sensitivity into moral courage, the capacity to stand firmly for truth, even when doing so carries significant personal cost. Where others might compromise, you find yourself constitutionally incapable of such bargains. You become the person who cannot look away from corruption or falsehood, even when acknowledging these realities disrupts relationships. Research confirms that certain individuals possess measurably different responses to ethical violations. This built-in truth detection system serves dual purposes: protecting you from environments where dishonesty would compromise your essential nature, while simultaneously guiding you toward contexts where your commitment to authenticity creates maximum benefit. This sensitivity constitutes evidence of your exceptional design, preparing you for your unique purpose in a world increasingly dominated by strategic manipulation and calculated deception. Your hands possess a wisdom your mind has yet to fully comprehend. Have you noticed that spaces transform when you enter them, both energetically and functionally? This unconscious organizing intelligence operates through your body before your conscious awareness even registers what needs improvement. While others might walk past disorder without a second thought, your system experiences a subtle tension until harmony is restored. This seemingly ordinary capacity represents one of the most compelling indicators of your exceptional design. When you naturally organize, improve, and create structure in your environment, you're engaging in a form of leadership that operates through service rather than dominance. This capacity manifests as a reflexive expression of your fundamental nature rather than a cultivated skill. You bring order because you instinctively contribute to collective well-being. Like a conductor bringing harmony to an orchestra, you transform scattered elements into a cohesive whole, creating beauty from potential chaos. Consider how this manifests in practical settings. When colleagues face a project deadline with mounting paperwork and confusion, you instinctively step in, creating systems that transform overwhelming information into manageable sections. Your hands begin sorting, categorizing, and arranging before your mind fully articulates the solution. Yet afterward, everyone benefits from the clarity you've established. This natural tendency creates an interesting internal conflict. Society typically associates leadership with commanding presence and authoritative directives. Your leadership emerges through service, improving systems, enhancing efficiency, and creating structure that benefits everyone. This discrepancy between cultural expectations and your authentic expression can generate profound confusion about your role and identity. You lead by serving, which appears contradictory within conventional frameworks of power and influence. Research reveals fascinating connections between this organizing capacity and servant leadership. Individuals who naturally improve their surroundings typically embody the core qualities of servant leaders: listening empathetically, fostering growth in others, and building collaborative relationships. This leadership philosophy prioritizes community well-being over personal advancement, aligning with your innate drive to create functional systems that benefit the collective. The foundation for exceptional organizational abilities begins forming during childhood. Early development of executive functions, including planning, working memory, and cognitive flexibility, establishes the neurological architecture necessary for transforming chaos into order. Your capacity to bring structure to complex situations reflects specific neural pathways formed during your developmental years. This improvement drive extends beyond organizing physical spaces into relationship dynamics, professional environments, and creative projects. You instinctively identify inefficiencies and implement solutions that enhance productivity. Your attention naturally flows toward what needs improvement, and your hands follow with practical implementation. This organizing capacity bridges the practical and spiritual realms of your existence. From a spiritual perspective, this talent connects to profound concepts of stewardship and divine delegation. Your natural ability to improve environments suggests you've been entrusted with representing a higher organizing intelligence in tangible ways. You serve as a conduit for bringing order to chaos, not merely as a personal preference, but as an expression of your spiritual assignment. Consider how this ability has already shaped your life journey. Recall moments when others relied on your organizational skills during crisis or confusion. Remember situations where your natural tendency to improve systems created opportunities that benefited everyone involved. These weren't random occurrences, but manifestations of your fundamental design, evidence that you've been molded into a problem solver, a doer, someone he can trust with bigger tasks later. Your reliability serves as preparation for responsibilities that align with your ultimate purpose. Throughout your journey, you've carried signs of divine selection within you, not as random traits, but as purposeful design elements strategically placed to fulfill a higher calling. These childhood indicators form an intricate tapestry of your authentic nature, revealing the blueprint of your extraordinary potential. Acknowledging these signs initiates your participation in your unique purpose. What appeared as differences now reveal themselves as calibrated gifts, interconnected hints God planted within you from your earliest years. Take time today to reflect on these traits. Write them down. Your past struggles are the foundation upon which you'll build your extraordinary contribution to the world. Your divine purpose awaits your action.